At 2:41 a.m., you refresh the feed again. Not because you're expecting anything new, but because the silence is louder than the scroll. You're not alone, not physically, not digitally. You've got 1,000 followers, a dozen group chats, notifications dancing like fireflies across your lock screen. And yet, there's this ache, quiet, constant, heavy, like the hum of a fridge in a dark kitchen. Always there, even when you stop listening. You wonder, why does being connected feel so empty? Why do your fingers brush so many screens, but never skin, never soul? We are the generation that speaks in memes and bleeds in silence. The generation raised on blue light, fed on likes, rocked to sleep by curated chaos. We don't talk, we type. We don't cry. We post sad audios on our stories. And we don't ask for help, we just hope someone sees between the lines. But no one's reading between the lines. They're just skimming for highlights. And even when we do get a reply, it's usually a heart emoji. Or worse, lol. We are drowning in connection, but starving for communion. It's like you're all walking through the same storm, but in separate soundproof bubbles. We wave, we nod, we perform, but no one really hears the thunder inside. We've mastered the art of looking okay, of packaging pain into aesthetics, of turning loneliness into content. Your sadness has to be palatable, little blurry, a little pretty, with soft lighting and background music. Because if it's too real, too raw, they'll skip, they'll scroll, they'll swipe away. Do you ever feel invisible in plain sight? Like the world can see your outfit, your playlist, your politics, but not your pulse. Not the quiet battles you fight just to get out of bed. Not the nights you cry without knowing why. Not the strange weight of existing in a world that feels like it doesn't need you. We live in a dopamine economy, where attention is currency and stillness is rebellion. We scroll through noise, looking for a signal. But everything's shouting, and nothing's saying anything real. We are overstimulated, but undertouched, overexposed. Here's the truth. You can be seen by thousands and still not feel known by even one. You can laugh in a crowd and still feel like a ghost. You can post a sunset, a selfie, a quote and still feel like you're whispering into a canyon that only echoes back your own voice. We were raised to be unique, but made to feel interchangeable. Raised to be authentic, but trained to self-brand. Every thought filtered, every smile staged, every vulnerability cropped into 15 seconds. And somewhere along the way, we forgot how to just be. Be raw, be awkward, be human. Loneliness isn't just being alone. It's feeling like your soul has no mirror. Like no one would notice if you stopped sharing your location. But we don't talk about that because no one wants to be too much, too sad, too deep, too honest. So we bottle it up. We throw on filters. We tell people we're just tired. And we keep scrolling. But beneath the algorithms, beyond the trends, behind every "I'm fine," there's a quiet ache. It hums beneath Gen Z's heartbeat. A craving not for attention, but for understanding. We don't want more messages. We want meaning. We don't want more comments. We want connection. We've painted our loneliness in pixels. But now, Let's meet the people behind the screen. To feel alone in a room full of people isn't madness. It's a symptom of a world that's forgotten how to touch hearts. We whispered about the ache, the kind that sits behind your ribs, quiet and unspeakable when you're smiling. But loneliness isn't just a concept. It wears faces. It has names. It breathes quietly behind real eyes in real rooms. So tonight we met them, not as case studies, but as fragments of a shared mirror, pieces of ourselves. Story 1. The unseen text Sally had a rule. Never double text someone who ghosted you. And yet, there he was, typing and deleting, typing and deleting. Not because he expected a reply, but because silence hurts louder than rejection. Eli met Jace in a Discord server during quarantine. They talked every day for 6 months. Shared playlists, late-night calls, even secrets they'd never said out loud before. Jace made Eli feel seen, understood. He remembered little things like the way Eli hated thunderstorms, or that he used draw comics as a kid. But one day, Jace just stopped replying. No explanation, no closure, just absence. A ghost where a person used to be, and Eli. He kept scrolling through old messages, like flipping through a dead friendship's diary. Sometimes he'd stare at Jace's last seen notification, just to feel something. Ghosting isn't just silence. It tells you. You were disposable, forgettable, easily left behind. He just loved hard in a world that doesn't always return the favor. Story 2. The performer Maya was the golden girl. Honor roll, theater lead, college scholarship. Her Instagram was a highlight reel. Smiles, sparkles, speeches. But behind that curated confidence was a girl held together by deadlines and duct tape. No one asked Maya how she felt, only how much she'd achieved, how many hours she was studying, what role she'd land next. So she learned to perform emotions too. Even her sadness wore mascara. She'd cry quietly in bathroom stalls, between classes and rehearsals. Then reapply her lip gloss and smile like nothing cracked, because rest felt like failure and vulnerability. Unprofessional. One night, after a standing ovation, she sat on her bedroom floor and whispered to no one, "I don't know who I am one. I am not being impressive." Burnout isn't always about doing too much. Sometimes it's about feeling too little because every emotion got swallowed too. Keep the applause going. Maya's loneliness wasn't from lack of people. It was from never being Alouetto, just be Maya. Story 3. The roomation paper, Amir, had what everyone envied. An apartment in the city, a social circle, a vibe. But most nights, he felt like a guest in his own life. His roommates bonded over music he didn't listen to, movies he hadn't seen, inside jokes he never understood. Amir laughed anyway. He nodded, threw in the occasional bro, far, far, and hid the parts of himself that didn't match their mood board. He didn't talk about how missed his mom's cooking, how English wasn't his first language, how some nights he dreamt in urgent, woke up feeling misplaced. They called him low-key chill. He was actually just lonely. Cultural disconnection is a quiet loneliness. You speak, but your words don't land. You exist, but not fully. You edit yourself until even your reflection feels pixelated. Amir didn't want to be adored. He just wanted to feel belonging without translation. 3 stories. 3 different shapes of the same silence. Ghosted, overachieved, culturally misplaced. But behind the layers, the ache is familiar. It's the ache of being surrounded, but untouched. Of being included, but not understood. Of saying, I'm fine, and wishing someone would say, no, really. How are you? We are scrolling like swimmers in shallow water, searching for depth, every wave, but finding only reflections. And maybe that's why so many of us feel like echoes. Not because we have nothing to say, but because we've forgotten what it feels like to be truly heard. Narrator. But still, there's something in use that refuses to stay numb. A flicker, a pulse, a soft rebellion against isolation. And maybe healing doesn't start with being found, but with realizing we're never truly lost. Not when someone out there feels just like this. Right now, watching, listening, breathing, just like you. You are not alone in feeling alone. This was never just your story.